Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to the Collective. As always, I am super excited that you are tuning in. If I'm all the way real with y'all, I cannot remember the last time I felt this kind of nervous about recording a video. By the time you guys see this, it will be Wednesday morning, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But this one is coming straight from the heart, and I ask that you listen with an open heart because what I'm about to say may shock some of you, okay? So, the month of July, I've taken a step back to kind of assess the collective and the growth that I've experienced, not just over the last 2 years, but over the last 4 years as a whole. A lot of my old content has been popping up, and it makes me smile because I'm like, at some point, I thought that was good enough or cool enough to put out in the world. And then I see my stuff now and I'm like, whoa, who said that? In addition, I've been listening to a lot of my old podcast episodes. And it has been so weird for me because the messaging is bomb, right? Like it's me, it's my voice, it's my message, but that's not me. Like it's almost as if I was performing power instead of just living it. Instead of just showing up, y'all. It's humbling, but it's also an indication of how much I've grown even over the last year and a half. I think back to like the sound of my voice. It's all poised and professional and proper. And I felt like as I listened to it, it felt like someone who was performing, someone who was still wearing a cape, a mask, because I needed to have it all together so you would believe I was worthy. And that's not how I talk anymore. And that's not who I am. Um, and if I'm real with you, I'm not really sure that's who I ever was. It's who I was in the moment. It's, I guess, in a way, this is giving you permission to also evolve and grow. So, that being said, if you've worked with me at any point in coaching, in programs, in master classes or boot camps, if you've listened to my podcast and it's blessed you or moved you or motivated you in any sort of way, I am so grateful that you have given me the opportunity to impact your life. I do not take this platform and my growth for granted in any way. It is amazing what I have been able to do along with your help and the gift that God has bestowed upon me. But moving forward, my messaging is going to center Black women. And you probably have already seen the changes in a lot of my bios. And this is not to exclude anyone, it's to fully embrace who I am. It's like the last little piece that was missing in the collective. And no, I'm not kicking anybody out. If you're a woman who's ready to stop living her life on repeat and you're committed to rewriting your story and you're committed to honoring the sacredness of the collective, you are free to stay or come on into the fold. But as a Black woman, I know firsthand what it feels like to be labeled angry or disgruntled or to have superwoman syndrome and you're balancing like life and work. Like you literally have to raise your kids like you don't have a job and you're expected to work like you don't have kids at home and you want to go to school and you're trying to find love and there's all these things and you're running out of time and it's so overwhelming that you think you're going to crack, but you're not allowed to crack because when people hear Black woman, they automatically think strong. And I remember that breaking point of not wanting to be strong anymore. I never ever want to be referred to as strong again or resilient again. I want to be soft. I want to be fragile, but not like a flower, like a bomb. Powerful and explosive, handled and held with care, treated appropriately. And you're worthy of those things too. Like so many of y'all look out, like look at my content, you'll DM me and you'll be like, Kayla, you're always full of joy, you're always full of laughter, you're always having so much fun. And it it's because I gave up this facade of needing to be in control. I truly learned to live in flow And I want to teach other Black women to do the same. And again, I'm not excluding anyone, but who better to talk about my experience than someone who's also experiencing the same thing? So if you are a Black woman who is tired, who's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like our parents said that a long time ago. Our grandparents said that. And I didn't understand until I was grown, y'all, but that's a thing. If you're tired, if you've been living life on repeat, if you're spinning your wheels, if you feel like you're in the same space in 2025 that you were in 2015, if you feel like you keep dating the same man with a different face, if you feel like your career is stagnant, if you feel like your emotions are out of whack, if you feel like you don't have boundaries, that people run over you, if you are putting on this big smile all day long and then coming home and falling apart or lashing out at your children, come into the collective. I want you to grow. I want you to be successful. I want you to be happy. And I want to help you. So hit the follow button if you're not already following me. There's backstage, there's the green room. There's so many ways to get connected. I love you and I want the best for you. And I cannot wait for the next season of the collective to explode. And I want you to be a part of it. Love you.